The art of storytelling is a skill that I seek to sharpen. So before I even jump into this journey of being here in Japan, I feel it's only right to take a quick stroll back to the launching pad I chose to leap from getting to this country. By doing so, I'm hoping to sharpen both my storytelling skills and also my editing skills. Entonces, vamos. After 2 great semesters with the English Opening Doors program, I learned so much about teaching English as a second language. Y, gracias a mi familia y a mis amigos, yo aprendí una segunda lengua también. Now, I set sail to explore every country in South America. Well, every country except for Venezuela. With everything taking place at the time, and even to this day, I had to defeat my wanderlust and stay clear of crossing the border. So, my sail stopped just short right in Colombia. Colombia was a country full of beauty, culture, and a few other things.
Auntie, I swear that's tobacco, Auntie. Auntie, I swear that's tobacco.
During this month, I met one of my best friends, and I also found more of myself. With all this exploration, I quickly ran out of funds, and I had to make some really tough choices. One of the few was sell my body in the street for money, or head back north to regroup. Proud to say I chose the latter. Before heading straight home, I took a trip out west to visit my baby brother and see what his new home was all about. Wanted to make sure the military was treating him right. Once finally back on the East Coast, I set my sights on Japan and started my JET application. During this time, I was also blessed with an opportunity to teach English at a school I call home.
Named Sasha Thumper. I remember her number like the summer when her and Susie, yeah, they threw a slumber party, but you cannot call it that cause it was slumber. Well, it was more like spending the night, 3 in the morning, yawning, dancing under street lights. We chilling like a village.
I thought when y'all singing.
I want to give a few notes before
Let him know, let him know.
So I was told not to get up here and tell a story or else. But I'm gonna keep it real, I just can't help myself.
Fuck that shit.
A few months before my flight, the hard drive from my laptop fell. And I lost everything, no.
That shit hurt. Cause it was everything. Poems, videos, songs, pictures, movies, letters, lesson plans, fucking everything. Like, it's making me feel like one way I might be able to, like, I don't know, prove to myself that I'm not taking it for granted is like making a documentary. I gotta think about it more. So stay tuned.
I'm gonna try to make this as short and sweet as possible, but that's gonna be hard. Not only because I got a lot to fucking say, but I'm really fucking excited. First things first, it's the 3rd day of June and the universe is screaming at me. Had a crazy weekend, dope weekend, just got better getting back to the news that I passed the fucking practice on the 3rd fucking try, cause the 3rd time's the charm. Speaking of 3, the universe is screaming at me. And I got to see my boys at the Bridge Academy Panthers ball out and won 3 games in a row for the championship. And then I got to catch up with my boy JJ Boom Boom Johnston before I went to my boy P's gala We Are Barahona charity event, and that joint was crazy because I watched these dudes build a school in less than 30 minutes with funds, and that joint was beautiful.
Three days before liftoff, I pulled an all-nighter trying to finish putting together my very first mixtape, Balancing Act, a series of poems, songs, and stories from my journeys and experiences. I even got to perform a few at the best spot in CT for poetry and vibes, the Poets Realm.
I watched the news in disbelief as police officers strangle a man to death. I grieve briefly, then I bury the knots forming in my gut deep within the depths of myself. I dump them alongside all the others born from the injustices where someone of my skin tone is stripped of their life and liberty. I tell myself I'm tripping. I tell myself it's all in my head. I tell myself I'm only hearing about this story, not all of the other black on black acts, because this one will cause more separation in a nation divided. I convince myself change is on the horizon and I can make contribution by setting foot in the classroom. I tell my students we are all created equal 100 times until it becomes a harmony that is him at home. I watch them as they walk in. Backpacks full of broken promises and the weight of the world balance on their shoulder blades. I've learned to be a walking diary, and I've come to realize 7 times out of 10, it's the students who get under your skin the most who tug hardest at your heart.
Determination.
Patience.
Patience.
Dedication.
Dedication.
Determination.
Determination.
That is how you complete the Fart Squad. Observe.
On the night before my flight, ended up pulling another all-nighter with this knucklehead.
This big baby is like 27 years old.
Fart Squad.
Fart Squad.
You remember when you heard it first.
Alright, now record me.
I am going to support the Fart Squad. Alright.
But it also ended up being one of my favorite memories as well.
Gotta do a sit-up, man.
Listen up, gangsters and honeys with your hair done. Pull up a chair, hun, and put it in the air, son. Dog, whatever they call you, God, just listen. I spit a story backwards, it starts at the ending. The bullet goes back in the gun. The bullet holes closing his chest of a nigga. Now he back to square one, screaming, shoot, don't please. I put my fifth back on my hip. It's like a VCR rewinding a hit. He put his hands back on his bitch. My caravan doors open up. I jump back in the van and close it shut, go in reverse. Slowly prepared, my nigga Jungle utters out something crazy like, go he there.